my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Ranjeet Bhogal, PhD, a luminary in the field of yoga meditation, research and education. With over 30 years of experience in scientific research and teaching, Dr. Bhogal brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to our conference. Currently serving as the Joint Director of Research at Kaivalyadham, Lonavala, Dr. Bhogal holds a PhD from University of Pune, specializing in the fundamental principles of dhyana and yoga meditation. He has worked as the principal of Yoga College of Kaivalyadham, as the editor-in-chief of the Mimamsa Journal, as he has played a pivotal role in fostering scientific inquiry and dissemination of knowledge in the field of yoga. He is also the author of several influential books, including Psychophysiology of Traditional Yoga and Yoga and Modern Psychology, which has been published in multiple languages, reflecting his global impact and reach. Dr. Bhogal's dedication to bridging the gap between the traditional yoga teachings and modern scientific understanding is evident in his extensive publication record and numerous national and international accolades. Notably, he was honored with the prestigious Yoga Ratna Award in 2022 for his exceptional contribution to this field. A passionate advocate for making yoga meditation accessible to all, Dr. Bhogal has traveled extensively across Asia, America, and Europe, spreading the message of classical meditation and exploring simple techniques for the benefit of the wider community. Let's put our hand together for Dr. Ranjeet Bhogal.
Namaskar. I feel great to be here. I have been here quite long back, but over the year I see that this college has advanced in different directions and made felt its presence in various fields and particularly health and well-being. I feel honored to be here because it has a rich tradition of coming from Maharashtra Mandal, which was very close to the head office in Tilak Road to Jnana Prabodhini, Pune. So I'm product of that, Jnana Prabodhini, and I'm proud to be for that. Today's topic is Vedic Mantra and Kriya Yoga. With the permission of the chair, I want to start this topic. When it comes to Veda, its deeper meaning is to know whatever is beyond perceptual world. Beyond perceptual world. Therefore, if you go to Vedic rituals, each and every ritual of Veda are in fact the mantras. And if you go through different mantras and you try to find the logical meaning, it's highly probable that you will be lost because it requires a lot of deeper insight into knowing the deeper meaning inherent in the Vedic rituals. So Vedic mantras, the Rigveda's Vedic mantra, which I have been into my childhood, Anu, Bhadraha, Rituha, Yantu, Vishuddha, such a great thing, it has got no parallel in the world. Let all good thoughts come to us from all nooks and corners of the world. That is the message. We never say that we are full, we have everything, and no other sources or people will have better knowledge than us and better penetration into spirituality than us. No, that is Veda. It is all encompassing. And Vedic mantras are just experiential through and through. So when it comes to knowing, Mananat Trayate Yasa mantra. Mananat, going deeper into it, experiential aspects, and then you are protected. Even constellations in the celestial arrangement is moderated by mantras. So you can see here it is. Now you are looking at Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti is something I know that I am knowing the thing. Jnana Shakti, I know that I am knowing, but at the same time I can make use of it for better purposes for the whole world. Now this is possible only when you delve deeper into experiential phenomena. In Sanskrit, man, to think. There also has one meaning, tool. So this is tool of thought. Tool of thought. What thought is intended to have some impact, deeper impact. The tool is mantra. Mantra would give direction, vector to our thoughts so that we transcend Sukshma and Sthula and Sukshma and we go towards the ultimate. That is Vidya. That's what Brahman is Vidya and Shakti is Bija. When these two join, then only the Nada comes. And therefore, whenever we have Nada, in proper way, it becomes walk. And then we have oneness created within us. Because there, Bindu and Bij become one. And their ultimate, we become ultimate, our own self. Shivoha, we become ultimate. Mantra means you have to be in experiential mode. Then only it is mantra. This we have spoken about it before. The best form of pratyahara, Svavishaya asamprayoge, chitta surupamkara, vidyanam pratyahara. That is the definition by Patanjali in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In a very positive way, if we can wean away our senses from their object, at that time mind becomes calm and then the senses start imitating mind, they also become. This is the meaning. Mantra, it has got three things: pranayam, dhyana, and nada brahma. Therefore, mantra is to be taken in that spirit, and you know that it becomes a vehicle for transcending everything and giving you the ultimate. Akash is stimulated, the ether. And the center of ether is here in the Vishuddhi Chakra. And therefore, not only you, but it influences the whole planetary arrangement. In a very systematic way, be more Vaikhari, louder, because it gives us training as to how to go about after Vaikhari. That is Madhyama. Madhyama, we go to the subtler plane of experiential phenomena. And thereafter we have Pashyanti, whereby experiential inputs, that is the meditative kind of feel comes within us. Something enters in us. That is is the field, we become Rishi at that time. It comes there, therefore the name is Pashyanti. And then afterwards we transcend everything, para. So these are some of the asanas, Kapalbhati and other things, which prepare you for a mantra. Heart chakra has got energy lines 108. And therefore, 108 times any mantra when recited would have power. That is, your emotions are transcended and you go towards comprehensive awareness. And it is also said that the soul goes into 108 different stages towards its evolution. And for that matter, 110 number has been considered wonderful. But in the beginning, 10 and 21 also is considered wonderful. So there are three types. Vagartha, Aviva Samprikto, Raghuvansh, in the first chapter, Kalidas says. Sadhana becomes complete when you have Vak, that is mantra, and also the meaning, that is the feeling, the meditative mood, then it becomes real mantra. Then everything becomes mantra. Not only mantra, but whatever you do becomes mantra. That is Vagartha. So we have to always keep in mind, whatever we speak, suppose you speak something, मी तुला जे सांगतोय ऐक, नीट ऐक. मी तुला जे सांगतो नीट ऐक. नीट ऐकशील ना? किती फरक? अंदर तक बात जाती है. That exactly is the mantra. And there were tantra yuktis. Vishwamitra has not created Gayatri mantra just for fluke, and the people are following it. You know that no two great men or wise people are unanimous on any single thing. What a wonder. Gayatri mantra has been unquestionably there through ages. No one can point out any problem because it is the product of Tantra Yukti. Sound research methodology to create mantra. It is not that anything you do and it becomes mantra. But then there are methods how to bring bhav, how to bring the proper configuration of words. In the beginning, Gayatri mantra is sympathetic one. It gives you power. But afterwards, when you are reciting it in a very mild way, nice way, deeper way, it creates balance between the two, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Therefore, it becomes cleansing agent. It is Gayatrastu param nasti pavanam paramam smritam. That is what Manusmriti says. The best cleansing agent ever in the world is Gayatri mantra. Then for parasympathetic coming down, when our prana is quite disturbed, so Mahamrityunjaya mantra would come down, and then your prana would be moving correctly in the whole body. And therefore you know that how we make use of Mahamrityunjaya mantra. For sound health we have these mantras, for different beach mantras associated with our different chakras. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Sham, Om. And successful life, there are many such other mantras also. I have given only very few because my objective here is not to give you the information about, but to speak about the experiential phenomena, the way we can practice actually and take benefit out of it. And then we have Aim, Shrim, Rim. This is for success. And for removing all your problems, Anantaya Namah, Achyutaya Namah, Anantaya Namah, Govindaya Namah. This is the best mantra ever. You will not have any problem if you recite it 10 times a day. Your physical problems, mental, psychological problems would be all right. There is a Sagarva Pranayama advocated by Lord Krishna, that if you recite it, 10 rounds of Sagarva Pranayama along with Om, that is Dashakritta Tishavanam Asad Vargachitanana. If you have any problems in the whole body, or mind, psychophysiological, other problems, that are always there nowadays because of pollution and so many other factors. Within 1 month, you get rid of them to quite an extent, and there is no other way. So one can do that, and it is quite often. In 11th Skand, 14th chapter, you have this. The whole 14th chapter is devoted to meditative progress by mortals like us. That is what Lord Krishna is telling to Uddhava. Our tongue has got meridians, and these meridians are something internal to stimulate our hypothalamus. And because of that, our pineal gland is radiating. And pineal gland, in turn, is affecting pituitary gland, which is master gland, and therefore our humors in the body is at balance as when we practice in a correct way. Remember, correct way of pronunciation. And I declare here that only in South India the best thing we find is the correct pronunciation. They are very strict, sometimes too strict, but it is required. As we move in Maharashtra also, it is tolerably okay, but when you go beyond that, except Jain and some part of Kashmir, it is free for all. It should not be like that. We should be very, very strict about the, and then only, you see, the tongue will radiate the energy to hypothalamus and hypothalamus to pineal, and then that is, therefore, my emphasis here is only the correctness of practice, whatever you have. Now, my other part of the lecture is Kriya Yoga. The best form of Kriya Yoga is 20 generations before Lord in Manusmriti. Ekaksharam Parabrahma Pranayama Parantava. Gayatrastu Parannasti. Pavanam Paramam Sritam. Wow. These 3 things. And then we came to know that why Swami Digambarji used to advocate about this Kriya Yoga. When you have Tapaswadhyaya Pranidhana, 10 rounds of Anulom followed by 10 rounds of Omkar, 10 rounds of Gayatri. Should be done as it is enjoined in our scriptures. Finish. No innovation, no something. Dr. Bhavani was speaking that, see, what innovation? We have so much of rich heritage, we have to discover them first. And then afterwards think of innovations. And now we think in the beginning only. Suppose my name is Bhogal, I say Bhogal Yoga. Somebody is some other yoga. Name. There are so many different types of yoga, as many names are there in front of you. Yoga is something. And that is pristine, pure yoga. So that Kriya Yoga, see, Patanjali Sutra, attenuates kleshas. Kleshas are root cause of all our problems. I have seen that. It sounds quite exaggeration for you that when we recite klesha, then how our problems would be solved and how we become lucky in our endeavors in life. But that is true. In a very lighter way, there was a girl who told in China that in the beginning I used to call taxi and taxi belonged. But now since I started with Kriya Yoga, every time I go out, there is a taxi waiting for me. She says that invariably it is happening. And it is not a joke and not even any kind of mystery. Because your vibrations inside and the outside vibrations, they have then resonance. Then the environment becomes your friendly environment. You go to your office, people will not look at you. But when you have this kind of Kriya Yoga for some days, you see that, oh my God, people are favorable to you. So such kind of things. And your work, there is one person here, Sachin, worker, and he would not mind if I speak his name if he were here. He is architect. And then he could not pass one simple examination for 3 years. He came to me. Simply I gave this Kriya Yoga. And something happened and immediately he passed it. Kleshas are blocking our ways wherever we do. It has nothing to do with our great brain, our name and fame, our money. When kleshas are there, you have to suffer. Only thing Kriya Yoga, they attenuate your kleshas. And then there is hope. And then it creates meditative results. Meditation hota nahi hai. I try hard. Often people speak like this. For some days have Kriya Yoga. There are different types of Kriya Yoga. All are good. 79 according to Bihar School of Yoga book. 79. And some Kriya Yoga also there in the south, in Pondicherry, Dr. Bhavnani, Delhi. All Kriya Yogas are good. We have to practice as they are enjoined to us through scriptures. अपने मन से कुछ करो. So that and अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम for tapas. Simple. Omkar Swadhyay. In fact, Omkar is Gayatri Mantra. And अनुloom Ishwar Pranidhan is Omkar. But when we recite the sequence changes. Because before any mantra, it is necessary that you should have Om recitation. And before Om recitation, it is necessary to have Anulom Vilom Pranayama. And for that matter, first Anulom Vilom Pranayama 10 rounds, 10 rounds of Gayatri, Omkar, and then 10 rounds of Gayatri. We are going to have this tomorrow in our practical session also, along with meditation, actual session. You know that the whole length of our spinal cord is stimulated through these Anulom Vilom Pranayama, Omkar, vasoreceptive impulses, proprioceptive impulses, vestibular sense, and so many other things would stimulate our whole being, and because of that, sensory feedback phenomenon is at its high. Always, whenever you are hurt, immediately the whole world is gearing itself to make you complete again, restoring your health back to normal. It's always happening. But then we are enemy of our own self. That's what Bhagavan says in Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We are our friend. We are our own enemy. We are our own bandhu. See, that is Udret Atmana 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 Namsati. So, what we do, we react unnecessarily. मनात येतं माझा ते रिॲक्शन द्यायचं नाही पण ते त्यासाठी we have Kriya Yoga. You have Kriya Yoga and you become non-reactive within just say 15 days, 20 days, no exaggeration. In fact, my habit is to have underlying statement, not exaggeration. So we can try that. And so Om recitation also, the same thing. I should not much, only very particular thing I am speaking about it. On both the sides of our spinal cord, we have ganglias, we are parasympathetic, sympathetic. A proper balance is created within it. And then the shift is towards parasympathetic nervous system. And then, what happens? Surpa Vishattam Chalinga Parayavasana. We feel something uniquely different. We know that it is so and so, but we cannot describe it to words. Abstract awareness. Amurta bhav. Bhav कसले? Amurta. मूर्त भाव असले की ते तुम्हाला सोडणार नाही. एकामागून एक विचार चक्र. अमूर्त भाव आले की समापत्ती कुठली आली? Fourth. That is their vichar. Vichar is not only thought. Remember, vichar means all kinds of movements. That is motion, emotions, feelings, memories, everything under the same word vichar. नाहीतर आपण काय विचार म्हणजे फक्त thought. त्यामुळे असं सांगतात की thought, you have to stop your thought. You have to transcend your all emotions. You cannot stop. Not only thought, but all emotions. And the best way, why not take help of these mantras? So Omkar, Gayatri Mantra, and it happens. Just होते हैं, केल्याने होते हैं रे. आधी केली से पाहिजे. काय केली से पाहिजे? Experiential kind of practice. That is abhyas. Abhyas is not only practice like surface practice. So that. So Nitya Vichinnam Omkara, Ghantanadam, this one. Heart region should have vibrations. विसोर्णवत कमळाचा देठाच्या आतील कोमलता, कमल नालगत कोमलता, the tenderness within the stem of lotus. That tenderness should be within our Om, whole Om, but particularly Makar. And the best Omkar Swami Digambarji advocates 7-second inhalation. Tenderness of the lotus, particularly towards the end of month. Then only Vishuddhi Chakra is stimulated. And then only Akash Chakra, Vayu, and from Vayu, Agni, from Agni to Jal, Prithvi, the whole. So it is untapped treasure, Omkar, untapped. But more than Indians, foreign people are much more interested, and we were speaking with Dr. Bhavranji and Dr. Grote that outside people are much more into the correctness and the experiential phenomenon than we Indians. So we have to think now, it's high time that we have to take that lead now. Otherwise, this is a lost opportunity for us. So vibrations should be felt within the heart region. And Makar should be tapered off gradually, just like the sound of the bell. Toward the end, Makar should become as tender as the inner capillary of the stem. So, the same way in Gayatri Mantra. Why we are not using Udat, Anudat and Swarit? Well, the whole Veda is speaking about it. आवाज वर्क करने, खाली तला खींचने. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ओम. Taittiriya Aranyaka have taken it. So, Devasya. And then, probably, we have spiritual centers which have not been discovered. And it's a challenge for us scientists that we Indians should find out these spiritual centers. And probably, it has got much to do with this, Udat, Anudat and Swarit. So this way when we recite 10 rounds and 10 rounds of Lonavala, 10 rounds of Omkar, 10 rounds of Gayatri Mantra, just once, wonders are that I have so many success stories while working with people. Kriya Yoga. And you can find your percentage of students would have at least 10% rise just within 2 to 3 months. If this correctly done, underline. Now this is what? Why we are suffering? We are suffering because of our kleshas. But then only kleshas will not trouble us. They should get precipitated by our not so healthy environment. If environment is good, well, klesha will not get fructified. You might have seen that some person up to the age of 40 was nice, but all of a sudden after 40 he was strangely behaving strangely and he landed himself into psychiatric hospital. क्या हो गया यार? कल तो मेरे साथ खाना खाया था. What has happened? Because up to that time the kleshas were sleeping in dormant mode. They were in prasupta mode. Anytime they can come, may become expressed, say, udar level. So mainly two sanskars, that is the vichin and udar level, are something which give you problem. And then when they are interacting with environment which is not so good, suppose, that there is a problem. If environment is good, चल जाता. मराठी में बोलते ना, एक तर मी असा रागीट माणूस आणि तेवढ्यात मला कोण मिळालं माझ्या आयुष्यात तर ही ते माझ्याहून जास्त रागीट. That means a problem. And normally we see that there is a kind of thing. If husband is calm, the wife is quite opposite. When wife is good, husband is opposite. Because the nature is doing all that. But sometimes this arrangement is failing. Sometimes both people are something. There is a problem. So that is environment and your own habits required from society. Hallucinatory development, that also is there. And then it creates interference. That is apparent mental functions. That is not so good mental function or repetitive mental function, redundant mental functions or harmful mental functions. They will not trouble you unless you make relationship with them. But when there are too many, you have to, if you like or you don't, you have to make relationship with them. And then we have sarupya mitratra. When the sarupya identification starts, you have one first stage, that is the psychic stage. Psychic stage. And this stage is good, reversible, provided you give a little bit of yoga or here and there, nice things, counseling. But then if you miss this bus, then you have the next one, psychosomatic stage, where you cannot handle the 9 plus 4 chitta vikshepas. You cannot handle that. And then we have it. And then this is not reversible. 30 to 70% relief is there from all your problems, but the reversibility is except in 1% or 2% cases, those who are quite very much into yoga. Some people are, just 1%. But then if you miss this bus, you have somatic stage. Somatic stage is one thing, never reversible, because it has come on the soma level, body level. And then last one is organic. Organic is organ failure. And you can only expect peaceful death, that's all. And that also is not a small thing. Peaceful death. I have seen in Pune, I worked with a boy who was suffering from AIDS and was kept in secluded place. And I gave him some meditation, he was very happy. And then since he was already in 4th stage, he died. But his parents met me and they were very happy. Told that we are so happy while he was dying, we were at the bedside. And he was smiling. And while smiling, he just went away. Wow, इससे अच्छा और क्या हो सकता है? ताकि हंसते हुए निकले था वसंत देसाई. इससे अच्छा और क्या हो सकता है? But then otherwise we can't do it. So that is the when you are working for kleshas with kriya yoga, very simple. And then this dushta chakra or vicious cycle becomes a vicious cycle. And then slowly you get rid of, not only you get rid of all your deformities, problems from your being, but also at the same time, your journey towards plus side of the salitogenesis would start. Dr. Bhavrani has started this. You wave salitogenesis, your own self-healing process is maximized. And for that, the start is there in mantras. So these are the mantras, which are so helpful. The way they are enjoined in scriptures. So now I just wait for questions if time is there, because I know that how organizers are thinking about the time. I'm very hesitate about that, and I don't. So any questions that would be better, that would be more stimulating, because this is one way. When questions are there, it is interaction, and what we can have. Okay. Questions?
Thank you, sir, for such an informative and enriching session. Thank you all once again for taking us through the therapeutic journey of yoga. Now we are open for the question for all of the three speakers. We are open to take the questions.
कुछ नहीं
Hello. Namaskar everyone. So my question was to Dr. Ranjeet sir. Sir, does our state of body or the position we chant the mantras will affect does it cause the effect of does it cause to change the effect of mantras, how we are sitting or standing? What is the effect? Does our position change the effect of mantra, or is it the same in every pose or every physical condition? This is my question. So my question to Ranjeet, sir, should I repeat it?
In the beginning, yes. Actually, always yes. But in the beginning, because stability of mind, and therefore in scriptures it has been said that you have to be adhikari for mantra. Not anyone, anytime, anywhere you can have mantra. In the beginning, of course, it is very, very important. Then afterwards it becomes abadhar. Then at any stage you can make use of it. But still, if it helps, you should pay attention to the stability of mind, body, and particularly the Pashyanti part is very important, because there you have the spiritual, experiential phenomenon getting entered in you. That means you are in the different plane altogether. And then from there you go towards para, that is transcendent. Unless we have this, the feeling, samadhi bhavana, so Kriya Yoga would give you samadhi bhavana. So bhavana is something which bhudhatu, which happening. So you be in happening stage here at this moment, and then slowly things start happening on its own, and you go deeper into it, and then the grace, we say that grace of the God happens. So it is said, even Shankaracharya has said that Tatastita bodhayanti guru shuto yatha अज्ञा एवं तरेत ईश्वर अनुग्रहित है. ईश्वर का अनुग्रहण होना जरूरी है. ऐसा क्यों कहा जाता है? Because that special things come particularly, much more likelihood is that it comes when you are in that mode of surrendering. Buddhists can also have, but they do believe in God. But then it is rather difficult. It is also easy for them. But easiest way is bhakti marga, so that you can have connection. So ईश्वर अनुग्रहित हो जाते हैं ईश्वर से, उसके बिना नहीं होता है. So that is Pashyanti stage of the pronunciation, whereby we need to have that kind of source entering in us, the spiritual one. Then it is mantra. Man is liberated from all kinds of vagaries and problems, and then we are in the transcendental mode.
Jai Hind, sir. Sir, there are many yogas nowadays. different kind of yogas. Olden age only one type of yoga as we heard.
Yes.
And that was, yoga was scientific, and now also in all the, it has been proved that it is totally scientific.
Yes.
Even our science has not developed as
Yes.
yoga has developed, and yoga can take.
Sure.
Our body is made of, one question is in my mind after seeing all these type of yogas in different ways, that our body is made of Chiti Jal Pavak Gagan Samira, and it is in all way since oldest time to modern and some Now in Chiti Jal Pavak Gagan Samira, I find that only Samira is doing the yoga. Only Samira is doing the yoga. I mean that why air is the source of yoga, I think so. Because he only travels all around. He only goes, he only touches, he only do the yoga throughout in our human body. So I thought that we should develop a air yoga. Because Chitijal Pavak Gagan Samir, in this that Samir is only traveling all around. And he is actually connecting Chitijal Pavak. So please clarify my doubts that it is only Samir or they all are doing yoga.
See, it is not just the body that is doing yoga, it is not just the breath that is doing, it is an experience of Ishvara as part of the whole experience. So here we cannot differentiate, but there is a beautiful verse in our Vedic literature that says, to Vayu, you are the visible aspect of Brahman. Tvameva pratyaksham brahmasi, tvameva pratyaksham brahma vadishyami, hridam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami. So we are understanding that Vayu as the visible manifestation of the Brahman, and hence already the pranayama sadhana is part and parcel of the Ashtanga. And again, you cannot live the yama niyama without the breath. If you are dead, you cannot live yama niyama. If you don't have the breath, you cannot do asana pranayama. So every anga is dependent on that prana being in us. So I don't think we need a new yoga. If we understand that yoga itself is based on the prana shakti, I think that itself encompasses everything.
Sir, my question is, Gayatri mantra can be recited by ladies.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
It is our experience which tells that. We often recommend Swami Digambarji and our Mannath also knows about it. Kriya Yoga, we don't forbid it for ladies, provided you have up to 3 rounds. It is in fact very, very helpful. 10 rounds of Anulom, followed by 10 rounds of Onkar, followed by 10 rounds of Gayatri Mantra. 10, 10, 10. And afterwards again 10, 10, 10. So after 1 month you have to have these twice. Not 20, 20, but 10, 10, 10 plus 10, 10, 10. And then you can opt to have the 3rd round also, 10, 10, 10. So up to 3 rounds, we have taken the feedback, absolutely no untoward kind of incidences or some experiences on the part of women were found. Why it is said that in many ashrams, because their job is just to go into spiritual depths. So those yogi sadhaks, they can have any number of, Gayatri mantra, and they can withstand with it because they are having their own lifestyle different than us in ashrams. But then even we, I should say that, even we household people cannot have too much of Gayatri Mantra because it may produce too much of heat. We cannot withstand that, we cannot tolerate that. But then to some extent, up to 3, it is quite safe. It is based on our experiences while working with other people. And there is some truth that yes, if too much of Gayatri Mantra is there, because it is, after all, sadhana of the sun salutation. Actually, it is the sun we are worshipping. And so we imbibe all the qualities, heat and dazzle and everything. So sometimes we cannot tolerate that much of divinity. And but then to limited way it is okay for us. So now I request.
For ladies also.
He has already given a very good answer, but I just want to point out, when we talk about the yoga tradition, and remember yoga is a living tradition, okay, Rishi culture. Who do we say is Adi Yogi? Lord Shiva. Who was the first Shishya to Adi Yogi? Goddess Parvati. So if Parvati learned everything from Shiva, why should we say that women can or cannot do anything?
So my question is like, as you rightly said that you have put emphasis on correct chanting is required. Like when you're doing the mantra chanting and doing prayer invocations, the correct chanting is required to feel the real benefits of that. But because there are different pronunciations, or if you're not aware of the Sanskrit pronunciations, correct pronunciations, so does the benefits reduce if the chanting is not done properly? Like for example, Om chanting. Some people chant it like Om, and some chant it like A, U, and Ma, like 3 parts of chants. So does the benefits reduce if it is not chanted properly?
There are 2 answers for this, according to me. One, if A, U, Ma is there, but as long as you are reciting the way it has been enjoined in scriptures, Dailet all that, some leeway here and there is allowed. But too much of it may boom right, may give you problem. Because I have seen that some people make just a very problem with it. Too loudly they shout. I attended one Indian conference in Pune, and there they've got some people to chant Om. We cannot tolerate that. Just shouting Om something. No, it is not. Little bit here and there it's okay because yoga is very kind. But then if you do it correctly, then way of benefits.
I like that statement. I don't know if you heard it. Yoga is very kind. I think that is a very beautiful statement. We are always afraid of some God who will punish us. God will punish us if we do something wrong. We are always thinking of the divine as punishment. But we forget that it is the maternal principle, Jagat Janani, that we are talking about, who is a benevolent mother. So I think that I just wanted to highlight that statement. It's very beautiful. And often there is a debate that goes on. Is the pronunciation more important or is the intent more important? This is a debate, especially with people abroad. Because people who come from other cultures, their genetics, the tongue, the oral cavity is shaped differently. So they say, even if I want, I'm not able to pronounce it the way a typical Indian genetic person can do. So then is it wrong? Will it become a curse? It will not become a curse because the most important aspect is the intent. What is the intent is very, very important. Your pronunciation should be as close to the perfect pronunciation as possible based on your cultural genetic limitations. So if somebody's name is Ananda and somebody's name is Manmat and somebody wants to call me and they say Manmat, he is going to respond, not me. If you want to call him and you say Ananda, I am going to respond. Same thing with the mantra. If it is not pronounced properly, you are not invoking what you are trying to invoke. So as close to perfect pronunciation as possible, but most important, what is your intent behind chanting it?
Namaste to everyone, I am Manjusha and thank you for this wonderful answer, sir. So my question is for three of you, and when we started the session, as the topic says, it is yoga mind to mind. Okay, and initially when we started, it was related to Swara Yoga and Panchakosha therapy. Then we went on to Dr. Manmat Garuti's lecture, which was more about how do you reach spiritual awakening through physical body, which is doing asanas. And then we came to the Kriya Yoga, which is about more of chanting. Okay, so my question to you is, now as I was listening to Dr. Ranjeet Bhogal, Kriya Yoga seems to be the simplest way of achieving the spiritual awakening, you would say, or a release from a disorder, I would say. So if I have to compare asana and Kriya Yoga for a layman in modern perspective, Kriya Yoga, I feel, is the simplest and something which is accessible to people, provided the difficulty in pronouncing the mantras correctly. So, sir, what is your take on this? Asanas versus Kriya Yoga.
Asanas can never be underrated. Because let us see what is the meaning of yoga, definition of yoga. It's the simplest one in Sankhya. Yoga Samadhi. We should never forget. Yoga Samadhi. And therefore all practices, all different limbs of yoga, if they are not moving towards Samadhi, it is not yoga. And asana also, Navnath Panthi, Goraksh people, they have proved that through asana they can reach Samadhi. They have proved particular asana and they are into Samadhi. It depends how we are practicing. We have some research done at Kaivalyadham that 6% increase in respiration rate and just 10% increase in your blood pressure. But then asana can be performed in such a way that 0% increase in your respiration rate, 0% increase in your heart rate. If we go to that extent, कौन कहता है कि श्याम मिलते नहीं राधा की तरह पुकारा कभी? So if we are not able to have these asanas to that extent, we can't say that asanas are to be underrated. No, asanas are very, very, very important. I think Dr. Bhavnani will agree with me about this. So, you want to say something?
Basically, you have to understand each and every practice and what is its purpose. Unfortunately, we consider different practices, different purposes are there. But if you summarize all the practices and if you see the importance, the ultimate importance of every practice is very simple. And that is said by Patanjali, Tadaha drashtuhu swarupe vasthanam. To know your true swarupa. Forget about the practices. But it is a journey. And this journey is called in 7 points journey. Be it be yama or it is dhyana, niyama or dharana, asana or pratyahara. What is this journey? Maybe it is bhakti yoga, karma yoga, mantra yoga, laya yoga, hatha yoga. It is called 7 stages. And I would like to tell you within 2 minutes. Please give me 2 minutes. So there are 7 different points are there. One is called Shubhecha. Second is Vicharana. Third is Tanu Manasa. Fourth is Sattvapatti. Fifth is Asam Shakti. Sixth is Padartha Bhavana. And seventh is Turyaga. For all the practices, Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanu Manasa, Sattvapatti, Asam Shakti, Padartha Bhavana, Turyaga. Shubhecha means Shubha Ichha. If you practice asana with good attitude, definitely asana will help you. Whereas you practice dhyana with wrong attitude, there is a downfall. So first is Shubhecha. When Shubhecha is there, you are introspecting and you start asking the question, Vicharana. Why am I doing this? Only, again I repeat, only for reduction of 2 kg weight or to understand my true nature. Vicharana. And when you start introspecting, when you start asking the questions, then Tanu Manasa, the fluctuation of your mind is reduced and automatically you are going to be concentrated. Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanu Manasa. Fourth is Sattvapatti. Then what will happen? Sattva will be increased, not Tamasa. When wrong ichhas are there, Tamasa will be increased. When Shubha ichhas are there, Sattva will be increased. So, Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanu Manasa, Sattvapatti. When Sattva is there, automatically you start developing Shakti, the power within you. Still it is there, but we don't know. It's like we are having lot of money, but we don't want to behave like a beggar. So, Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanu Manasa, Sattvapatti, Asam Shakti. And then, 6th stage, Padartha Bhavana. You will understand what is important for you. This is called discriminative knowledge, which is called as Viveka Buddhi or Satsat Viveka Buddhi. And once you develop it, then 6th, it is Turyaga, the ultimate realization. You practice asana, you practice dhyana, you practice yama niyama, you practice kriya, bhakti, jnana, mantra, hatha, laya, nada. Whatever you practice, the purpose is same, and that is to know who am I. Yeah.
Thank you so much, three of you. So it's really immense pleasure to, on behalf of everyone, thank you. My question, it's not a question, it's a request actually. So जैसे आनंद सर ने बताया था कि अगर कोई पुण्य काम करना है तो बच्चों को सिखाओ योगा. So why it is like not in the school, it is not mandatory yoga. घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर अगर ऐसे बोला जाओ, आई एम अ योगा टीचर, बट जब मैं अपने बच्चों को बोलती हूँ कि लेट्स डू योगा विथ मी, मम्मा मुझे चक्रासन आता है, मम्मा मुझे शीर्षासन आता है, तो देयर लिमिटेड, द थिंकिंग इज लिमिटेड टू सम पर्टिकुलर आसन्स ओनली. ये जो डीप नॉलेज है अबाउट योगा, हाउ मेडिटेशन हेल्प्स इन देयर स्टडीज, वो नॉलेज बच्चों में नहीं है. तो व्हाई इट इज़ नॉट कंपल्सरी येट इन द स्कूल. सो my request is to all three of you or all the senior people sitting here कि हम एक request, अगर हम कुछ बोलेंगे तो इफेक्ट नहीं करेगा, but if request goes from the seniors like you to the जो जिनके भी हाथ में decisions है. My kids are in convent school and there is no yoga. It's always about sports, football, cricket, ये वो. So I really request कि अगर ऐसा कुछ possible है कि schools में योगा compulsory हो जाए, at least 5 साल के बच्चे हो तब से. And not only the asanas, the understanding of yoga in the sense of meditation, कि कैसे help कर सकता है in concentration, focus, everything. So that is a sincere request, sir. Thank you.
I'll tell you something. Pathya Pustak Mandal in Maharashtra, it is called Bal Bharati. And we have already prepared long back the curriculum of yoga from class 1st to 10th. It is already there since several years. I was one of the members, so that's why I know. But little technical issue is which I feel. Like you should depute yoga teacher to teach yoga. Because sometimes, in the morning session also I told, maybe physical education teachers, they are well versed with physical education activities. Yogic teachers, they know about yogic understanding. So maybe sometimes it is some little bit discrepancies related how to perform the practices. So that's why program is there already maybe 10 years back. But implementation is something little difficult. So 50% work is over. Just 50% is there. And again, one question, why you should teach to the students? Because parents are only ready to accept wish of the students. First students should learn and then students should tell to their parents to practice and then parents will practice. Yeah, that's why students will learn that.
Hope it happens soon.
Namo Namaha to all. Namaste to all the three dignitaries. So I will ask the question to Dr. Manmohan Garote sir. Can you focus on give a light on Sapta Jnana Bhumika, which you said Shubhecha, Dhammanasa, Vicharana, Sattva, Bhakti, and others are Turiya Avastha. And the Sthita Pratya is in Bhagavad Gita. And that is given in Vivek Khyati Aviplava Dhanya Aviplava Vivek Khyati. That is given in Patanjali Upanishad. Can you give some points or focus on it, please?
You want me that whole day I should sit here? But as you ask, it is a process of samapatti he is asking about. And again the purpose is, as Patanjali said, tadha drashtuhu swarupe vasthanam, to know your true nature. Through intellect we know we are that supreme, we are Brahman, but how to reach over there? And it is a beautiful process explained in Patanjali Sutra, the journey towards the Kaivalya. And there are different stages, they say. Now, when you practice any of the practices, say for example mantra yoga, Bhogal sir explained beautifully. The first stage is coming, which is called savitarka. What is any practice you perform? What is savitarka? Sa means yes, vitarka means all the negative thoughts. Now you may say, some of the thoughts are there which are nothing to do with you, but still how they are coming, how they are flourishing from your mind. And they are because of your past impression, maybe from this birth or number of births. They are coming out when you start chanting of the mantra. Say for example, mantra. When you start chanting of the mantra, it is a cleaning is going on, and then all the negative thoughts are coming out. It is good, because unless and until it is not coming out, it is not a cleaning. So it is cleaning going on. The first stage is savitarka, with vitarka. Then second is nirvitarka. Now thoughts are there, but they are not negative or bad thought, in simple words. Then you continue again. Then you go to savitarka, nirvitarka, savichara. Now thoughts are there, but they are good. Then fourth stage is called not even good thoughts, nirvichara. So those four stages are very important. Savitarka, nirvitarka, savichara, nirvichara. Now you go to fifth, it is called sa-ananda. Sometimes no thoughts are there. You feel, oh, what a beautiful, pleasant, I am sitting in the temple in front of the God and it is so beautiful. Thoughts are not there, but feeling is there. Ananda. Feeling. So again it's a problem. When feeling is there, again thoughts may come. So savitarka, nirvitarka, savichara, nirvichara, sa-ananda. Then you go beyond, and the first stage is called as sabija samadhi. Now sabija samadhi means all the past impressions are gone, but to leave all the impressions, whatever object you use, there is an impression of that object. So you also have to remove that impression. So from sabija to nirbija, there are 7 levels which are called as sapta prajna, which you asked. And then after nirbija, dharma mega, and finally it is kaivalya. So it is a big topic, but in nutshell, I explained you. Yeah? Thank you.
So my question is to Dr. Mani. So you mentioned in your slides about the physical, the mental aspect, the mind aspect, and the social aspect covered with the spiritual aspect of yourself. Now, I want to ask you is, as you said it's few minutes before about this Vivek Buddhi, but then why didn't you cover the aspect of Vivek Buddhi or the Buddhi aspect in while dealing with the mana aspect or the mental aspect or the mind or the social aspect, which is the more important thing, which is the which is the most important thing as right now for the human being to at least choose what we have to be near.
What is the subject of your project?
Sorry. So I was just telling, I mean, if you can tell us actually why, I mean, why was it not included into the aspect, and what is the importance of Vivek Buddhi in most of the things we are handling the mind aspect in? Thank you.
When I was talking about 5 different aspects of personality, and that is physical, mental, emotional, social and spiritual. These are 5 aspects of a personality. Now forget about this topic. You are asking about buddhi. Now I am giving where role of buddhi is there. If you find someone will ask who you are, you will say I am an aspect of 5 things. One is body, mind, ego, intellect, the buddhi, and the ultimate soul. Now buddhi is like a dodhari talwar. Buddhi, if it is attached with ego and mind and sense organs, it is disaster. But same buddhi, if you uplift and turn to intelligence, then it is unique for you. जैसे आपके घर में छुरी है, छुरी, आप सब्जी काटते हो तो अच्छा है, उंगली काटते हो तो खराब है. It is like same. If the intellect is, there is a downfall of intellect, and intellect is related to ego, ahamkara, and manasa, then it is disaster. But same buddhi is attached with the ultimate principle, which is called the soul. So then it is upliftment of the buddhi, and all the yogic practices designed in such a way that you should uplift your buddhi and transform this buddhi in prajna or viveka buddhi. Once prajna is there, then you start getting intuitions. What is intuition? What is the difference between intellect and intuition? You understand more. Intellect, it is just hard disk. Whatever is stored inside, you are giving responses. But what is higher intuition? Your intellect is connected to the higher powers and you are capable to grasp everything. So, as far as your question is concerned, buddhi or intellect, if it is attached to ego and mind, it is disaster. If it is attached to ultimate, it is the beauty, because we have the ultimate highest power, that is soul, but highest power is intellect. You should know how to use that intellect. So yamas, niyamas, all the practices, naitikta, all the achara, vichara, for what? It is to uplift your intellect or buddhi. Yeah? Yes.
Sir, you told us about it, pronunciation of mantra. Who can guide it? Whether the mantra pronunciation is correct, or who will be in a position to correct us in pronouncing?
We have 2 sources, main sources always. One, our scriptures, the second, living traditions. Traditions are living because they have got some worth. So we may go to them because they are really worth. We may start with that. And to hone over all these things, we can go to scriptures also. And the third thing is something, like-minded people should come together and be unanimous. But before that, scriptures are still our greatest masters. They speak about it, but we don't have time to look into the pages of our scriptures. They have everything there. This is my experience. And I have seen such a gems are there embedded in our scriptures. And they, but then sometimes you don't get it in platter. just in spoon feeding. You have to toil hard, but then you will get it. And then look for some living traditions, working on those things already. Otherwise, your efforts would be futile. You will discover something in 5 years of your efforts, your endeavors. And then you realize that, oh, it was already there in somewhere in Ahmednagar, some person, Dr. Karadikar, is already working on that. And therefore, just look out for those living traditions. Somewhere, some persons in south, somewhere in the north. Why not we meet with together? And then we can have some unanimity, if not total unanimity. But then still I should hold on to my faith that scriptures are still our masters. And then we have living traditions. Both are our great plank to hold on. But the scriptures we cannot just forget. They are there, they are lights for many years. Till eternity they will shine and will make us shine.
Namaste to everybody. Firstly, I would like to thank all of three of you. You have given excellent sessions, and thank you for those enlightening and educative sessions for all of us. My question is for Anand sir. Sir, many times regarding therapeutic use of yoga, it is happening that many people start directly with the practice of pranayama, or we see that they also start with meditation classes or pranayama classes. So, being a medical professional, would you like to throw some light on this? Whether really is it good to start with pranayama? Because Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is mentioned that it should be started only after once you are good at the practice of asana. So, kindly throw some light on this, sir. Thank you.
See, yoga as a sadhana is to be considered as one marga, one path. Yoga as a chikitsa is its own marga, it's its own path. As Dr. Manmat was saying, there are all these different variations, whether it is an improvement or a improvement, we don't know. So when we are looking at it from the chikitsa angle, the most important thing to understand is the individual who has come to you seeking care. That is the fundamental aspect. How you can help them where they are to where they can be. And we use what is called a Chatur Vyuha model, Heya Hetu Hana Upaya. What is the problem? What is the source of the problem? Where you want them to go or where they want to go, the therapeutic goal, what are the tools to get them there? So when you are using this Vyuha model, which is popularized by the Krishnamacharya tradition, the approach is to see what are the tools most useful for that individual to help them come from dukkha to sukha. They are in dukkha. You want to help them come to sukha. They are in Angame Jayatva, you want them to come to Sthirata. They are in Dhavamanasya, you want them to come to Saumanasya. So, in the Chikitsa angle, what are the tools to help that individual to come to a state of Sukha, where then they can take up a step-by-step practice of yoga as a sadhana. So, it is not that they will always be a patient. Don't keep the patient always a patient. Don't keep the student always a student. Let that student also grow into a teacher. Shishya should also become a guru. Many teachers will always keep the student as a student, which is also not good. Many doctors will keep the patient as a patient always. Bring them to a sense of normalcy, then introduce them to yoga as a sadhana marga, and then they will continue the sadhana. Because yoga's ultimate goal has been repeated again and again, only Kaivalya. Everything else is a side benefit of yoga. The only goal of yoga is Kaivalya, nothing else.
We will have one last question from the audience, and then
Yes,
I think I will take over this session.
Am I audible? Okay, my name is Abhijit Gaikwad, and I have heard, मी असं ऐकलंय की प्राणायाम जेव्हा केमोथेरपी जर झाली असेल, केमोथेरपी if someone is undergoing chemotherapy or just finished chemotherapy, so at that time pranayam should not be performed. Is it true or not true?
See, nowadays there's a lot of stuff where people say, do this, don't do that. And on the internet, as we have said earlier, a lot of information, but more misinformation. So please do not trust the sources on internet. First of all, when somebody is doing chemotherapy, what is happening? There's a lot of the pitta dosha aggravation. Chemotherapy is burning up cells. There's a lot of catabolism, lot of heat. At such a point, the specific pranayamas that we use are the cooling pranayamas. So the cooling pranayamas are actually helping the person counteract the side effect of chemotherapy. But if such a person starts to do Kapalbhati, starts to do Surya Vedana, starts to do Ujjayi, the impact will be negative. So people say, don't do pranayama. It is not don't do pranayama, don't do asana. It is which practices are for that person. As I pointed out, in the Chikitsa angle, the individual is first and foremost priority. Based on their present situation, the practices are selected. So there is no blanket ban on pranayama in chemotherapy. In fact, we are using the cooling practices. They are very effective for the subjective well-being of the cancer patient. We will never say yoga will cure everything, but yoga will help that person to have a better sense of life. I'll just end with a story of a person who had a thymoma. It's a cancer of the thymus gland, and they had to remove one whole lung. Now this person was belonging to the Islamic faith. He came to us and I asked him, the first question I ask every patient who comes to me is, what do you expect from yoga? Because why have they come to yoga? What is their expectation as a care seeker? If I don't address that, I cannot address the felt need of the individual. He said, Dr. Sir, I want to pray my God. Because of this surgery and my cancer, I cannot do my namaz, I cannot pray my God. I want to pray God. That was his only. He is not saying, save me from cancer, reduce my chemotherapy. No, he says, I want to pray God. After the 10 sessions, came to me, hugged me, crying. He said, Dr. Sir, I can do my complete namaz, I can pray God, I know I'm going to die. But whenever I die, I am ready to face Allah. That was the impact that came.
Sorry, I will be interrupting the session here. First of all, let's put our hands together for all three of them. Sirs, all the stalwarts, I cannot thank you enough for waiting with us here. You know what, all the sessions were actually over. However, due to some, as usual, some cliches, some situation, we had to request them to wait back and join all of us again. And I thank all of you. Please accept my apologies for revising the schedule on the spot and disturbing your schedule. But it was for selfish purpose for all of us to listen to you more. There was one important thing that I would want to mention here is all of us said that yoga is practiced more by the foreigners than the Indians. All of you mentioned that And in fact, we have a witness for that. One of the speakers, Mr. Erik Hemmingsen from Norway, was supposed to join us. But he is not keeping well, and he has been practicing yoga and meditation since last 5 years. He's a football coach, and he has started introducing yoga and meditation for the football team in Norway, and they are benefiting tremendously from that. So he wanted to share his experience, and he said it's a beautiful Indian tradition that is helping us. Although he was not keeping well, he has sent his wishes through the video. If you allow me, can we play the video? Yeah, that is Mr. Erik Henningsen. He had to rush to the doctor for some medical reason, and therefore he couldn't join us. Are we going to play the video, please? And one more request to all the stalwarts, if you could also tell us about your books, their availability, how we can get your books, all three of you, or your website, or any other way through which we can connect with you and get more resources to study. That will be a great help for all of us. Yeah. Can you? Meanwhile, I request Dr. Ajit Mandlecha to please come and join us on the stage. The next speaker. There's some issue with the. Is there some technical issue with the video? If it cannot be solved, I will request all three of you to please share about where we can get your books or your website or any way that we can contact you. Yeah, it's still not audible, so. Yeah, please. Pause it for a while.
My background for talking about this is me myself being a practice. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Erik Henningsen. I'm a Norwegian. I was supposed to give my lecture live, but due to the unbelievable fact that I've become ill, I'm not able to, and I have to give you a short version in this recording. So my topic was yoga and how yoga can help football players, also called soccer in some countries, enhance their performance. My background for talking about this is me myself being a practitioner of yoga. I had the pleasure to be Miss Pallavi Kavana's student for some years, and I'm doing yoga and meditation on a daily basis. In addition, I was the CEO of Viking Football Club, a Premier League club in Norway, for 5 years. So I was close to our teams, and I'm convinced that yoga would improve both the individual players' performance and the team's performance, both physically and mentally. So football is a very demanding game. It's very physical straining. A football match lasts for 90 minutes with a lot of different kind of physical activities, runs, jumps. Yeah, I recommend everyone to watch a game and then you will see for yourself. Football being the biggest sport in the world with more than 270 million registered players, with a fan base of close to 4 billion people in Europe alone. We have 25,000 registered clubs. It's a big sport and with a very big potential for yoga as a supplier of services to them. I'm also happy to say that female soccer is one of the most growing sports in the world. Financially, it's a lot of money in football. Let me just mention that we have players being sold close to 200 million euros going from one club to another club. Top clubs in Europe have revenues like 700 million euros per year, and the media rights for Premier League in the United Kingdom, probably the most popular league in the world, is 4.7 billion for the period 2022 to 2025. So it's a very big sport and it's a very big market for everyone. As I mentioned, I was the CEO of Viking Football. That's a Norwegian Premier League club, founded in 1899. I won't spend much time talking about Viking, but one of the things we are most proud of is that we have the best football academy developing younger players in Norway.
We will share
As
this
some
video.
players being in the forefront of the sport already.
We will share this video on the Telegram group that you all have joined, so that you can listen to it very carefully. I don't think it is very audible as of now. We were, continuously in a little mess because of changes in the schedule, and we also requested Dr. Ajit Mandlecha to join us before his time, and he came. So I must thank Dr. Mandlecha for rushing to the venue and joining us. Before that, a quick response from both of you about your books, if we could.
Myself, Dr. Manmath Gharote. I am director of the Lonavala Yoga Institute. Especially, we are working in the field of literary research based on manuscripts. There are two different institutes. Kaivalyadham is another institute. My institute is different, Lonavala Yoga Institute. And if you see the website, Lonavala Yoga, you remember Lonavala for Chipki, I am sure. So Lonavala Yoga, and you find all the publications. They are very precious, rare, based on all the ancient manuscripts. And those manuscripts are very ancient, maybe 500 years old, 1000 years old, more than that. And we publish those books. So please visit Lonavala Yoga, www.lonavalayoga.org, www.lonavalayoga.org. Thank you.
Myself, Dr. Ranjeet Bhogal. I am at this moment working as Joint Director Research at Kaivalyadham Research Center. In Kaivalyadham, we have, just like Dr. Gharote has said, we have rare manuscripts in our library. Very old, very rich, one of the richest library in yoga. And Dr. Gharote has contributed a lot to Kaivalyadham's growth, his father. And we have various sections. Many of you might have visited Kaivalyadham. We have two big streams of research, one philosophical literary research department, the other one is scientific research department. Then we have yoga hospital that deals with the functional disorders and other disorders are treated through yoga practices. So we have full-fledged this stream, SADT Gupta Yoga Hospital. Then we have ashram where spiritual activities are going on, and the college is there where different courses up to PhD are held. They are offered right from diploma in yoga education, then BA, MA, and then PhD from KKSU University. So I think many people might have already visited Kaivalyadham, and it's very quite nearby. You are most welcome there. The website is kdham.com. So www.kdham.com. And there are various activities going on, and you can abreast with all those in this website, and welcome there. And we always welcome you all to become one of the family members of Kaivalyadham. So Manmat is always there. We are always together for good cause, and we welcome you there. So you can plan a visit whereby you can encompass both the institution at one visit there in your plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I request Ananda sir, please tell us from where we can get your books and access your resources.
Yeah, actually the ideal, as I have been saying since the morning, you just type BHAVANANI, Bhavanani Yoga, and you will get all the books, all the articles, all the videos to download for free. We have our ashram in Pondicherry, started by my father in 1968, which is a traditional Gurukula. We only take 10 students every time. We have a lot of online courses available, both in the philosophy of yoga, the psychology of yoga, the tradition plus yoga chikitsa. In fact, next month I'm starting an online program on Vibhuti Pada with focus on the Yoga Sutras. Simplest way to contact me is yognat@gmail.com. Is the shortest email you can think of. yognat. It's a short form of Yoganjali Natyalayam. We have a yoga, dance, music school. And similarly, through that, if you are interested at the Sri Balaji Vidyapeeth Healthcare University, which I presented some things today, we have courses from PG Diploma in Yoga Therapy, Masters in Yoga Therapy, up to PhD in Yoga Therapy and also in Music Therapy. So you're most welcome. And if you send me an email, within 2 days you will get an answer. If you don't get an answer, it means I have not got your email. So just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you.